Welcome back to another episode of the Gateway RV Transport Podcast. Today we are very excited because we have just one of the best guys. Don't tell him I said this. But one of the best guys. Charles. How's it going, Mr. Clevenger?
Well, my head is so big now.
Well, you still got a ways to go to catch up to Justin, but
Nice.
we appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. We've been trying to get you here for a little while.
That's right.
Finally broke
You kidnapped me.
Yep. How long have you been a driver with us, Charles?
Since 2013.
Okay. And we've tried to get rid of you a few times, but we
That's right.
just can't seem to.
I'm like luggage. I hang around forever.
We were just talking before. Do you remember your first trip?
I sure do. I went to Canada with a drive-by unit. Great big Vengeance, fifth wheel. I forget how many stops, but it was an adventure.
Well, so what a drive-by is for some people, a lot of people don't know, including a lot of our drivers don't know what a drive-by is. When there's a new model that the manufacturer comes out with, the salesmen who, are pushing the model are trying to get it out there as much as possible. So they will schedule specific time slots at dealers along the route. They will meet you there and show. You'll drive by. They'll show the dealer a new model. They'll try to sell it to dealers as you go. So a lot of times there'll be 3 or 4 or sometimes more stops along the route where you will effectively just be there with the salesman as they kind of try to make a pitch. So you did one in Canada as your first trip.
Right. Very first trip for Gateway.
Wow, they really threw you in the deep end.
Well, they found out, you guys found out that I had been to Canada quite a bit, that I had my pass card. So you asked, hey, do you want to go to Canada? And I was like, sure, because I'd been going back and forth anyway, for Express RV. So why not? I did it.
So it wasn't your first time pulling an RV.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. I had a Class B CDL for years, and I let it go. And then the Gateway job come along because my grandfather, he used to work for different companies, and he turned me on to doing it with Express RV. And then when Express RV closed, then I went over to Gateway and hired on with you guys. So, and it's been fun. I've been here for quite a while,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe let's start from kind of the beginning. Where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Virginia at Norfolk. My dad was in the Navy. And then they immediately moved to Florida. And I lived in Florida for over 20 years. So then I moved to Alabama, which is where I live now. But I grew up mainly in Florida, down in the Pensacola area. So, but
with the Navy?
No. My dad got out of the Navy, and him and my mother got divorced, and it's kind of complicated. But anyway, the gist of it is I lived in Florida for 20 years, 30 years, and then moved to Alabama. So and I've been in Alabama for quite a while. So.
What prompted the move to Alabama?
Several things. If you live in Pensacola, it's like a tourist town, so you get tired of all that mess. It's a big rigmarole with people blowing in from out of town and stuff. And there's really not much to do there unless you're in landscaping, food service, stuff that caters to the people coming in and out of town. So I used to install carpet for years, and I did that till my knees started going bad. And, the older you get, your body starts breaking down. So I needed something easier to do. So I moved to Alabama, and my grandfather got me into doing this, and here I go. I've been doing it since 2013.
What else? So you've done your kind of different jobs that you've done. So you did the floors.
Yep, I did floors for a long time. Before that, it was like jack of all trades. I mean, I moved appliances. I've done ditch digging. I'm old. I'm in my 50s, almost 60. So there's been different jobs along the way, but I've always been working. But the hard jobs take a toll on your body. So this is more of a laid back job, and you get to see the country, man. I've seen more than I ever thought I'd see, United States and Canada. So it's been quite a ride. I'm still going. Glad to be with you guys.
Good. Well, we love having you. So we were just talking not even 20 minutes ago about flooring. How that'd be a job that'd be hard on your body.
Right. The hard part is a lot of times you go into a house that's full of furniture. Very seldom do you get a house that's empty unless it's new or being remodeled. So you got to go into somebody's house and move their possessions around in their house to do a room here and a room there, move stuff around. So it's quite an undertaking. I mean, some of the entertainment centers and heavy beds, and there's no telling what you find in some people's houses. I mean, heavy stuff. If they've been in the military and they went overseas, like, and got some Black Forest furniture over in Germany, some of that stuff could be huge. I mean, the Shrunks over there, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Shrunk.
No.
It's like I guess it's like a bookcase, but it's huge. It's all made out of black walnut, and it's really heavy. I mean, you go to move some of that stuff. You get these furniture slides. They're like long skids made out of plastic. You put them under the pressure points of a piece of furniture, and you can pretty much just push it, slide it right into another room.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know how to do it without tearing people's stuff up, because people got expensive stuff in their house, some of them, But like a job like that, everything's heavy. The carpet you take out's heavy. The carpet you put down's heavy. You got to carry it in, carry it out. Yeah, you're in the house in air conditioning, but you're in and out. So with the door being open, it warms up naturally, especially in the summer or in the winter. It gets cold. But yeah, I've done that for a while.
You decided you wanted to take a change and start driving a pickup.
Right. Well, my grandfather got me into it. He was doing it seasonal. Whenever it started getting snow and ice up north, he'd quit. So he pretty much told me, he goes, look, I got this truck. I'm retiring from doing it. If you want to do it, I'll get you in the business. I'll get you in with the guys I work for. And he did. And then I worked with them until they closed, and then come over to you guys, and you hired me right on, I mean, your dad hired me in.
Was it Dave? Was it Dave and my dad when you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying. That was probably about the time that I left on my mission, right?
It was before you left. You wasn't long.
Bridget and Gary, we were up in
Bridget
Goshen.
Bridget and Gary, right? They Gary was doing dispatch. Bridget was in where you were at. In the side office over there in Goshen, at the old furniture place.
And you worked for a little while for Skip, right? At
Skip,
Express?
I got hired in right when Skip died.
Oh, okay.
So I worked for them almost a year, thereabouts a year. I think I signed on with them in 2012. And then the deal was everybody was saying, hey, you go to Gateway. They're hiring most of the drivers from here. If you want a job, go there, first. So I did. And I've met a couple other drivers that used to work for them, that work for you now. So there's a husband-wife team I met whenever I went to Omaha. And I said, yeah, I used to work for Express RV. And they said, well, we did too. And I was like, wow, I never met you guys. But small world.
Well, there's a whole story behind that we probably won't get into the whole thing with the whole Skip situation.
He was a former
employee of Gateway. And But yeah, well, very interesting. So what are some of your places, your favorite places you've been?
Oh, in my travels?
Yeah.
Well, I like going to Colorado, but in the summertime, because in the winter it's treacherous. I mean, whether you're loaded or not, it's treacherous. But I like to go through the desert, the Midwest, Arizona, New Mexico, California's cool. But I've been there so much now, it's like repetition, But one of the things I want to do with my wife with me is to stop by Grand Canyon and check that out. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And I want to go to Utah to that, what is that, Zion?
Oh, yeah. Do that drive through Zion National Park.
I heard that's beautiful. Yeah. Right. I wanted to check that out, before too long. But now with the wildfires out there in Grand Canyon, the North Rim, I guess it burned a bunch of stuff out there and burned up some old motel or hotel that was out there, is what I seen on the news.
A lot of wildfires. Right. Seems like out there it's very dry. I did see, just so you know, when you get to the Grand Canyon, that it's now okay. It wasn't before, but it's now okay to shed a tear as you stand above the Grand Vista. So just keep that in mind. You can.
Well, I'd probably be overwhelmed because I heard it's quite a sight, to see that.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
I don't know if I mean, it's not just one. Is there just like one specific spot that you go
look
to?
At the different parts of the rim or whatever.
Yeah, I think I've seen parts, but I don't know if I've been to. I don't know. I must have been.
We went with my in-laws a few years ago, and this is my description of the Grand Canyon: it's like you could stare at it forever, and you get it within an instant. It's like, I imagine it's like that when you are astronauts.
You get it like you pull it and you're like, got it.
Got it. Yeah,
Got it.
This is exactly
Good.
what I expected. It's just like the screensavers on the back of your computer.
Right.
So it's like simultaneously that, and I could look at this forever and never fully take it in. My assumption is that that's how like an astronaut looking at the planet from space.
You get
Right.
somebody like, got it, go home.
A little bit. Like you look at it, you're looking through the little window, and you're like, "Yep, this is exactly like the pictures." And at the same time, being like, I could never really appreciate.
So if
this.
you think about it, then it's
But it's also
It's
like
more
it's
impactful.
so vast, and the Grand Canyon was that way in my experience. Like, it's so vast, and it's hard to like fathom. But it's also at the same time like there's this. Have you ever seen Parks and Rec? It's a
Yeah.
TV show.
Oh yeah.
They go Andy Dwyer's character, Chris Pratt's character. They get there, and they look at it for a second. And he goes, "Wow," and then he goes, "Now what?"
Now what? Right.
And I kind of get it. So
Right.
Do you suspect that? So say 500 years ago, a small community that lives there. You're born there, you grow up there, you hunt there, you live there. Do you suspect that they don't find beauty there? I contend that they still would, but I mean, question is a matter of perspective, right, and what you're accustomed to. So is that type of, I think, pretty objectively beautiful landscape.
like they're just like, this
If-
is just what the world
If
is.
you grew up, if you were born there, only knew that, would you still find regular beauty in that place?
That's like the beach.
Yeah.
Whenever I lived near the beach, you'd go there so much, it was like,
Yeah. So maybe that, because when I go to the beach,
you get callous with it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I've seen it a bunch. That's like people that's never seen snow and they come up north and see snow. They're like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. And you're like, give it a minute.
and then all the locals are like, this sucks.
Yeah, that's
I think I'd.
Yeah.
It's cold, it's frozen.
Probably a little bit of
Ice.
both, I would think.
I think I would be okay. I don't. I think I'd be okay with never seeing snow again. I mean, that's a because I got a long way to go.
Oh,
And I
no
don't-
way.
I don't know.
Never.
Man, that'd be
Never.
nuts. But like, I think the same way. It's like I've seen a lot of sunsets, and sometimes I'm like, whatever. But sometimes you're like, wow.
And so I
Yeah.
think that's what would be. So say the Grand Canyon community example.
Yeah.
It is the same place, but a lot changes. And so I do think because there is still variety in that, because there will be sunsets, there will be crazy flash flooding and rain, and there will be fog.
Who knows
I don't know
what,
if I've
right.
seen a lot of fog, but presumably there'll be some.
Stuff. Yeah.
Crazy critters like bears roaming around tearing up stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
rabid.
So when you go, do you want to like go hiking, or you just want to go look at it and hop back in the truck and?
Are you a big hiker?
No, because my hip's bad. I got back injury, so I can't really hike too far.
You could rent one of those scooter things.
Right. Yeah, side by side. Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
yeah. I
There
bet
we
there's
go.
tons of good four-wheeler type
I'll bet.
stuff out there.
Right.
Four-wheelerin'?
Four-wheeling.
Four-wheeling.
Four-wheeler in.
Four-wheeling. Yeah.
Four-wheeling.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah. For some reason, four-wheelerin' sounds weird. Yeah.
That's
So you
funny.
might go out there, rent a side-by-side, and drive around a little bit or something.
Maybe not a side by side, but I know they got where you can ride horses. I'm sure.
Oh, that'd be
You'd like
cool.
do a horse trip. Yeah. I guess
Sometime.
I'll have to see what they have to offer. But like I said, now we're wanting to go, and the wildfires, they got everything shut down on the North Rim, which I hear is the best. Not saying you couldn't go to the South Rim. Check it out. It's probably beautiful as well. But they say the North Rim's better. So that's just what I hear.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too.
Right.
Did you grow up a big outdoorsman?
Well, yes and no. I mean, of course, you guys know before they come out with all these phones and internet and all these video games and all that stuff, kids played outside. So
Mhm.
I played outside for most of my life, and then come out with pagers. Ooh, that's a flashback. Pagers. Whoa. Then they come out with cell phones. They had the car phones in the box. They had to hook to your car, and the horn would go off. Those for rich folks. You had to have money. Then they come out with the big brick cell phones. I see. I'm going way back.
Mhm.
Back way back.
If you have one of those in good condition, people buy that stuff. I don't know.
Cool. Can you imagine? Yeah, you're in a
Yeah,
meeting.
collectors.
Bring, bring, bring. Somebody.
Yeah, pull out
Pulls
the
up the
brick.
antenna.
Right. Let me extend the antenna.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
It's kind of a hipster move.
Yeah. But like a cool hipster, not like the dumb.
The dumb, not like a regular hipster.
It's like 'cause most hipsters are like people see them and roll your eyes at them.
Are we moved on from the hipster phase?
Sorry, yeah.
No, I mean like,
don't talk about hipsters. We will get in big trouble.
the hipster union will come after us.
Yeah.
I think it's I think
there's
it's
no
phased
more
out.
fedora
Easy,
wearing,
Jordan, easy.
cape.
I mean, they still do that, but I think that
And for all the many Gateway listeners that like to wear fedoras and capes, hey, to each their own. It's just not my thing. Jordan loved wearing a cape in high school, you know. Anyway,
Hey, I said there's some off limits things.
sorry. Drop the cape stuff.
No fedoras? What?
Yeah.
Like a gangster, man.
So
yeah.
where are some of the places that you don't like, that you don't want to go back to delivering RVs?
Well, it's all seasonal. I mean, I really don't like going northeast because it's so crowded and congested, and all the toll roads and stuff. And I don't know. I've liked to go west. Montana, Washington State. Oregon's cool to go out there in the summertime. Weather permitting. I don't like to go out there when it's all frozen and iced up and snowing. But I have ventured out that way, and it's not fun. But I'm from the South. I'm used to not driving in that stuff, so I don't have a 4-wheel drive truck. But I pretty much have been everywhere, by now, with all the years I've been doing it, including Canada. I've got on the ship and rode across over to Newfoundland, which is an adventure. I mean, you've done it. Have you done that,
Mhm.
Jordan?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite trip.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I mean, our experience was the boat ride over was nice, calm seas. I mean, it was like you're not even on a boat. But the ride back had 8-foot seas, and that boat was rocking and rolling, and we got seasick, and it was horrible. And you can't lay in the floor, and I was like, well, you can't stand up and you can't sit down. Where else you gonna go but in the floor?
You just go outside on the
Oh, no.
deck.
Oh, no. Yeah,
Just
right.
hold on.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've shared this. I've been on that ferry because there's two. There's the short ferry, which is like
7 hours.
and then the long ferry, which is like 12. I don't know, something maybe.
No, I never rode that one.
So I think I did the ferry 10 times, 5 times there, 5 times back.
Oh, wow.
Roughly. And one of those legs of the journey was real rough like that.
Right.
Uh,
Where do you leave? Was that Port aux Basques that you leave, or is that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds right.
Yeah, I think it's Port aux Basques where you load on, and then you go over to the island
Placentia.
and
on
get
the other
off
side.
there.
Yeah, Argentina or whatever. Argentia.
Argentia. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right.
And then we went to Paradise, so you get off and you go all the way across the island.
Paradise.
Yeah, it's on the other side.
Is that where you went? I went to Corner Brook.
And we got to see moose.
I
They
didn't-
say they'll flash the headlights, with oncoming traffic.
You
If there's
saw
a moose,
moose
they'll flash the
with
headlights,
Antlers and everything.
antlers and everything.
That'd be cool.
And on that particular trip, when we come back into the States, we were coming through Maine, and it was real foggy. It was like fixing to turn dark. I mean, right at dark. And I was looking, we were driving along, and I said, something told me to slow down. Well, I slowed down. Right as the time I looked, and I said, what's that in the road? It was 2 moose standing in the road. And I slammed on brakes, and they looked at me like, okay, buddy, fine. And they stepped over the guardrail
Oh,
and
wow.
walked off. And I was like, wow, that was close. Because you hit a moose, you're done. They don't move.
I have not seen a moose in a car in the wild. I haven't on a hike in the mountains.
Yeah, it's
Right.
scarier than doing
I
that.
think I've seen, again, I probably shared this 100 times. I've seen bear and rattlesnakes and mountain lions. A moose was the scariest thing I've ever encountered
Right.
in wildlife. Just huge.
I mean, going to Canada now, you can see buffalo.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. You go up near Edmonton, there's a wildlife reserve, I think, along the way there. And there's buffalo on both sides of the interstate there. I mean, herds of them. It's pretty
That'd be
cool.
You've been up to Kamloops too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've
Yep.
been there in a long
British
time.
Columbia.
Way up there in BC.
Oh, yeah. It's like in the valley there between 2 huge mountains.
Yeah.
Of course, that's where the roads are.
I would like to go up that area, like Banff. Have you ever
I've
Banff
never been that,
National
no.
Park? I'd like to
Uh-uh.
go check that out. That's on my bucket list.
We went there and we were just riding along, admiring the view, looking, wow, that's a tall mountain. About that time, my wife, she goes, look up there. There's a goat. And it was one of them Rocky Mountain goats. He was standing on like the edge of this sheer cliff, man. And he was way up there. It's like, how did he get up there, or down? Where's he going to go, But guess that's what they do.
Mhm.
I don't know, but it was neat.
That would
Pretty
be
neat.
cool to. I don't know if I've ever seen them. We our next door neighbor was worked for the DNR, and they would go and count bighorn sheep in the mountains like that. But
Right.
the only way you could do that is in a helicopter.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they would rent the highway patrol helicopter. This is out in Utah, and they'd go and count them. Well, they need somebody to move the fuel for the helicopter in a pickup. So who did they call? Next door neighbor, my dad. So he would go and haul the fuel for the helicopter, and then he would
cool.
go on the ride with them. And so I one time got to go with them on. It was like a training, a military training, but it was the same crew that the DNR always used, the same pilot, and who coincidentally was the pilot that rescued the guy that cut off his arm. 127 hours
yeah.
or whatever.
Oh wow.
And they're doing a military training, and they said we need somebody to come haul the fuel. So we went camping. It was my sister and I and him. I don't think you were there. And so we got to go in the helicopter, and they're doing a big military training on a dam, like a terrorist training. So we were, civilians just camping there. But they took us before their training, took us up in the helicopter and got to fly around. That was.
I don't really
pretty
like
cool.
flying too much.
You don't like getting in
Well,
a
then you
plane?
hate flying in a helicopter.
No. I rode in a big jumbo jet. That wasn't as bad. We went to the fair one year, and my buddy talked me into, hey, let's get in this Cessna, a little bitty Cessna plane, and we'll go fly over the old neighborhood. And I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Oh, no, that's like being on a kite.
It's probably a bad way to start. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, man, I was ready to get down out of that thing. It scared me to death. Because, I guess it's, what do you call that? The air pockets where you fall down, like you free fall for a couple seconds.
Turbulence.
Your turbulence,
and all that,
yeah. And I was like, I'd grab on the stuff. And my buddy, he was laughing. I said, this ain't funny. This ain't funny. I'm going to kill you when we get down. This ain't funny.
What about like commercial flights?
Yeah.
That's
Jumbo
fine,
jet.
no problem.
Well, taking off and landing's fine. It's just when you're way up there and you hit that turbulence and stuff.
Oh, that's the fun part.
I guess I've seen too many airplane crash movies
Yeah.
and stuff on TV. It just petrifies
Have
me.
you heard my dad's stories about flying planes?
I don't think so.
So did you know that he was doing pilot's lesson stuff? You remember when he was going through the pilot phase of his? You'll have to ask him a story time one time. He got lost in the air. I won't tell the story, but it's pretty funny, and especially him telling it.
Yeah, his version is funny, but
Our version wouldn't be as funny, but it's
we
still
can't
funny.
leave
to me.
everybody hanging. You got to at least tell.
Well, we got to get him in here to tell the story. But the gist of it is, he gets lost in the air. You get up there, and everything looks the same. He finally finds an airport, lands, and in his own way, which if you know my dad, it's kind of a fun, joking way. Where am I? Walk into the airport there.
What state is this?
Yeah.
That's right. Fair warning, Kevin.
Yeah.
Podcast 2 coming your way.
We'll have to get him to tell that story. There's a couple other fun Kevin stories we have to get. A couple of Mark Wallace stories.
That's some good
Oh,
ones.
You knew
goodness.
Mark Wallace.
Oh, yeah. I knew Mark.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep. I met him quite a few times. He was all right to talk to.
Yeah.
That
You ever
that
play
was
the
a few
mandolin
years-
for you?
He did not.
No. Well,
He
you
did
missed
not.
out.
Yeah.
I have a keyboard from Mark Wallace at my house.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I don't know how I ended up, but he gave McCade some stuff, and yeah. Anyway, we ended up with some Mark Wallace stuff.
I know for a while you had a bunch of instruments in here.
Yeah. There's a story with that too.
A lot of stories. A banjo.
Oh, man. Yeah, deliverance. Ding, 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 ding.
So, when you're on the road and you're off duty, what do you do to keep yourself entertained? Banjo?
No, I don't play the banjo, unfortunately. It's never been my repertoire. But, well, I call myself trying to sightsee a little bit, but I don't know. It just seems like I'm ready to get back and grab another one. This is addictive. Once you get doing it, you want to go, go, go. See more, do more. At least that's been my take of it. I've been doing it so long, it just becomes automatic. I'm having to slow myself down when my wife's with me, because I'm usually just zoom, flying by stuff. She goes, what about this? What about that? So now I'm having to go, whoa, you're right. Let's go see this. Let's go do that, because I'm getting older, man. And one day it's going to be like, I just can't do it no more. Because it is hard on you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You sleep in your truck. You don't stay in a motel every night because you lose money.
Yeah.
So, but I tell you what, for all you that's thinking about doing this, it's really an adventure. You get to see a lot. And with the freedom of coming back on your own, at your own pace, you would be able to, I'm guilty of not doing it, but you would be able to stopping and seeing. We call it smell the roses on the way back.
Yeah.
Stop and smell the roses.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been guilty of not doing that over the years. But now that I'm getting up, what is this? Over 10 years of doing this, it's like, hey, look, I might need to start seeing some stuff, because I know I've been to California from top to bottom, And my brother lives out there, and he's like, "You've seen more of California than I have." Because I'll tell him, "Yeah, I've been here, I've been there, I've been over here," and he goes, "Wow, where? Let me look it up on my phone." You know,
Yeah.
I've never been there, and I'm like, "Well, you live there. What are you talking about? It's close to your house." You know.
Do you feel like you get to experience these places at least a little bit while you're there, or is it just in and out?
Sometimes it's just in and out, depending on what time of the day it is. You guys know you've been to California. There's a certain time of day you don't want to be in there. And if you get in that traffic, you might as well stop somewhere and sit for a while, because you're going to be sitting out in the middle of the freeway, no bathroom, nothing, because it's stop and go inch along for hours sometimes. So it all depends. But I've seen a little bit. I've been up North California, which is beautiful. You know, you get into the mountains and all the trees and stuff. And then you go middle and Southern California, which is desert. And you can go out to the West Coast out there, like Pismo, places like that. You're right along the beach, and it's a totally different beach than you would like the Gulf of Mexico or, you know, on the East Coast. So it's different because the West Coast has like cliffs and some of that, you know, by Malibu and places like that. You know, you guys been out that way? Over by LA?
Laguna Beach. I dropped out there once.
Right.
Which, I had the same experience. Like, you go on the other side of the mountain, it's like a different climate. Like,
Right,
I was up,
right.
with Lake Elsinore, I think, or something like that. And it was,
Right.
it was totally different than the other side of the mountain when I was like at San Bernardino area.
Or Hemet.
Which, went out by Hemet. Yeah.
Hemet's like in the desert, like.
And it's just, like straight up desert.
Right.
And then there's kind of, it changes like up by, there's a spot near San Bernardino. You come over the side. I forget the name of the place. Moreno Valley, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that has a different vibe to it. And,
I've been there too. Moreno Valley. I think their Forest River has a plant there, Moreno Valley.
They Forest River
or
closed their.
Wait, that's Hemet.
Yeah, Hemet. They closed those down recently, so they moved
I've
those products
shuttled
over here.
I took one out for the show they have in the desert there.
Yeah.
And I went and picked it up and took it up North California to deliver it to Final Destination. And that guy, they were hard on it on that show. I mean, there was sand on the floor, and it was just a mess. And he goes, "Oh, this is normal." I said, "Well, that's good."
Yeah.
Because I probably took 100 pictures of that thing. Because you're responsible for it whenever you hook up to it. So you try to, cover yourself by taking a lot of pictures, Hey, look, this is the way my truck's not hooked up to it. This is how I got it, So, but that's all part of the business. I mean, you learn that over the years, especially. You get a couple dealerships that go, "Hey, you did this." And then you go, "You know what? I should have took a picture of that when I hooked up." So, and then sometimes I call you guys out to look at something that I'm not sure about, which is what you're supposed to do. "Hey, look, this don't look right. Let me get your opinion on whether I should take it or not." So, but that's all part of the biz.
What about listening? What are you listening to while you're driving? Music?
Everything.
Okay.
I listen to news. I listen to music. I listen to the wind with the windows down sometimes,
Like XM stuff, or you do on your phone?
I have an iPod Classic that's full of all my music. It's like 160 gig iPod Classic. And I've got just about everything on it, from soul to, who knows, crazy stuff. All in between. It depends on the mood.
Yeah.
You start getting tired, you can put on some metal, and start banging your head, roll the windows down a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, start screaming,
What's give me an example. You don't need to sing.
Oh,
well, you can. You're welcome to.
You can.
I missed my calling. I should have been
I want to know
singer,
what are you what is it called when you're rocking out in your car? There's like a name.
Oh,
I don't know.
Rocking out.
Headbanging in your
Headbang,
car.
right.
Yeah.
You've heard Carrie's story when she got pulled over, and they
she was going through a way station.
She was going through a way station. She
Oh,
listened
no.
to AC/DC.
And leading up to some of the way stations, they have cameras.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they pulled her in, and we're just laughing because in the camera she was
banging her head,
really singing along to the song.
And
Like, what are you listening
I
to?
can see Carrie doing that.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
It's kind of like
That's funny.
Well, I don't want to tell her stories without her permission, but she has a couple of funny stories I'd like to get her to come in and tell.
I learned when you go to a way station, first of all, watch your speed. Turn the radio down, because they'll have you roll the window down sometimes because they got a loudspeaker right near up on the scale. And when you approach the stop sign, they say stop before you're approaching the scale. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't go. Stop. Then proceed. Let the vehicle in front of you get off the scale before you get on it, because you'll be in trouble. They'll get you. I've seen them do it.
And I imagine they deal with so many truck drivers that have completely different levels of understanding that they're probably just in a constant state of frustration of people not listening, to where like they got a pretty short fuse when people just don't listen. So I suspect that I don't know if anybody's a way station worker. I don't know.
Right.
I would love to get
No
you
disrespect.
on a podcast.
Yeah.
A little.
My one time, my one inspection time that I've gotten pulled in. Usually, I've only gotten pulled in once, and they inspected me.
Right.
And because the guy asked first, he's like, "You in a hurry?" And I was thinking, "I wasn't speeding." I was like, no, I mean, not really. It's like, well, kinda. But that part of the reason he asked is because he did an inspection. If I would have told him that I'm kind of in a hurry, he might have let me go. But
Not on your life.
yeah,
He had you
Cracked
then.
his knuckles. And
Yeah.
the only time I've got pulled in and inspected was in Canada.
Oh, wow.
And so that was
Where's all your guns?
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Honestly, like I think they asked that, and you're like,
I've heard
like kind of joking, but also just kind of like almost condescending.
Yeah.
Like you dumb Americans.
Well, when we've
and your
heard that,
guns.
like especially our guys from Texas, they always harass the guys from Texas. Oh, you're from Texas. Of course you have a gun. Where's it
Well,
at?
same for me. I'm from Alabama. Whenever you pull up to the border there, you got to shut your truck off, hand them your paperwork, and then they ask you a bunch of questions. Are you carrying more than this much money?
Yeah.
Have anything you want to claim? You carrying any weapons? You carrying any drugs? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they ask you for weapons, and then my wife and I, we went up there. It's a funny story. We went up there. I shut the truck off, and the guy, he's asking questions about the money and this and that, and he looked and he goes, "So you have any weapons in the truck?" And I said, "No, sir." We were both wearing camouflage shirts. And he goes, "Okay, so you don't have any guns, long knives, swords, muskets?" He was trying real hard, and I was like, "No, sir, we don't." And I looked over at her, and she had a camouflage shirt on, and so did I. And I said, "No, sir, we're just from Alabama. We dress like this." And he goes, "Oh, okay." It was,
Yeah.
Canadian guy.
He assumed you were there hunting
He assumed,
with
right.
swords
He assumed we were
and
hunting,
battle
exactly.
axes.
We thought you
That's
were going
right,
to see us
yeah.
pulling through.
Bazookas, yeah.
Yeah.
Cannon.
He's like listing every type of weapon.
Artillery.
He was, too. He's being specific.
Abrams tank. Back
And then we were coming back another time, and we were coming back into the States, and those are usually American guys. And the guy looked, and he goes, "Do you have any drugs in the truck?" And I looked at my wife, and I said, "Well, yes, sir, we do." He said, "Is your name on the bottles?" I said, "Yes, sir, it is." He goes, "Okay, good." Because they'll ask you a trick question to try to trip you up. And then they'll have you pull over and search the truck. "Well, you got all these drugs in here, Well, they're mine. They're prescribed to me. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you said no. So it's sometimes they get kind of, they'll ask specific questions, and if you say yes or no, that could be the fine line of getting searched or not.
Yeah.
So, but that was after I've been to Canada for probably 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had. I've only had problems because the customs paperwork wasn't done correctly.
The PARs.
Yeah. Like sometimes I've got one question. How long were you in Canada? Okay, go ahead. I've never really got hung up other than the one time I had to spend the night there.
Oh.
In the blizzard, and
they
didn't let me back into the U.S.
That was this year.
Oh, was that this
Was
year?
that this year?
Maybe last year. That was where I broke my rule and I ate Burger King. Because I was so hungry and there was nowhere else to eat. I'm in this blizzard in some town on the border of Maine and the New Brunswick, and there was nowhere to eat. And so I broke my rule because I have a ban on Burger King.
Did you eat chicken?
I ate some crappy Burger King, and I remember afterwards thinking, "This is why I don't eat it. This is just as bad as being hungry."
Garbage.
It's just like eat a big pile of garbage.
Garbage
So
can.
you're afraid of telling somebody's story.
No
but
offense
you're
to Burger
way
King.
Okay to
The diss
specifically
Burger King.
mention Burger King.
Yeah, Burger King. I don't. If Burger King happens to come across this podcast, I want to apologize.
Say your disclaimer.
Gateway is happy to take care of all of your RV transport needs. We don't want to
We
hurt
could
our
transport
relationship.
burgers.
Yeah, we don't want to become adversaries with the great and powerful Burger King.
You can wear your Burger King hat, your little
Yeah.
crown.
But I mean, if it's in, I'll move on. But it's not unique to burger. I just think fast food is not real food in general. So there you go.
Sometimes that's all you got. Though.
I know, and you have no choice.
It's like truck stop food. I talked to some of the drivers. "I will not eat at a truck stop." I'm like, "Well, man, sometimes you either eat truck stop food or you don't eat."
And you just
You know?
gamble that you're going to be stopping at
That's right.
each bathroom along the route.
Depends on what you eat.
Yeah, you get the
My-
seafood.
Maybe
yeah.
I'll get your take on this question, food consumption, because my philosophy, especially on longer trips, is I want to have as little intake as possible for several reasons: cheaper, faster, also less breaks. I
Right.
don't need as many stops. But what's your food strategy?
About the same. I've found out that if I really stop and take on a bunch of food, it makes me sleepy.
Yep.
So, and that affects your driving, as far as maybe shortening your day, whether you could have went the extra couple 100 miles versus stopping and crashing and trying to get a better start the next day. But, and then, with packing on the pounds too, because you're doing a lot of sitting when you do this job. I mean, like I said, I got a back injury, so I can't really get out and do a bunch of walking around, but I try to get out and wave my arms, and stomp my feet and scream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not really.
Screaming's
anyway.
real good exercise.
Yeah, it's actually a stress reliever. You know.
And all the people in the truck stop.
What's wrong with him? He's
Oh,
crazy.
he's just doing his daily scream.
He's crazy.
You didn't realize there's
Your
every
daily
truck stop,
scream?
your daily scream. If you just waited at a truck stop for a couple hours, you'll hear. Just well, there's a lot of ways. Like
I was
hopefully it's just an exercise scream. No one's gonna tell.
Yeah.
That's normal.
I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we pulled into this Flying J, and we were sitting there, and this guy crossed the road. I mean, because we had to park in the back because we were loaded. Had this big old trailer on the back, so we had to park back in the trucking section.
Yeah.
In the back, and this guy in front of us pulled out his weight bench, set it up, pulled out his weights, and he's out there bench pressing weights in the parking lot of the truck stop.
Yeah,
How much of that do you think was for him, and how much of that do you think was for you?
I don't know. I was hoping it wasn't for me because I wasn't impressed, because the guy couldn't press more than not even 100 pounds.
No,
But anyway.
I feel like you.
So I guess
am
I did
remember
observe
this,
him
you
too
used
much.
to be a weightlifter.
Absolutely not.
Okay, no, I thought I remember something about how like you used to. Maybe I'm
Jordan,
way
where did
off.
you get that idea from?
I don't know.
Wrong driver. Wrong driver.
You just strike me as a guy that is incredibly just powerful. Maybe you could bench a surprising amount.
No, but I did used to haul a bunch of carpet, so that and appliances and stuff. Delivering that to people's houses, having to go upstairs with refrigerators and stuff. It could be demanding. Oh, and I used to climb trees also in my way younger
How did
days.
you skip that? That's got to be the coolest job in the world. Why did you have to climb
Professional
trees?
tree climber.
Yeah, professional tree climber. Oh yeah. Well, that was back in my 20s.
An arbor? Were you an arbor?
An arborist, I
An
guess you would
arborist?
say. Where you put the spikes on and the saddle and you strap the chainsaw to your belt and climb up the tree. Yeah, I used to do that. Rope down limbs. Oh, yeah. Till I lost my fingertip and cut myself real bad on the hand. And then I was like, might not be the best.
So how did you lose your fingertip?
There was a storm coming up, and this guy had this pine tree above his house, and it was swaying pretty good. And he paid extra money for us to take it down before the storm hit. And I got in a rush, and I cracked off this limb, and it got hung up on the way down with the rope. And I went to free it up. And whenever I did, my finger got caught in the rope, and it tore the end of my finger off.
Oh, it's from the rope.
Yeah, the rope.
And it's not, when you say tips, everybody's listening just a little bit, but it's more than just a little bit. It's like more than an inch.
Yeah, the last part
The
of
last
your,
digit.
up to your first knuckle there, fingernail to the first knuckle. I mean, it ripped it clean off the bone, man. The bone was sticking out.
Oof.
Blood was squirting out, squirt, squirt. And I was like, oh, I stuck it under my armpit. I was in the bucket truck, so I stuck my hand under my armpit because I was going to fall out, man.
So you look down at your hand, and
And
you
it was
see
going
you
squirt,
just see
squirt.
a bone.
Yeah,
squirting.
yeah.
Okay. Stick it under your armpit, and then
Lowered myself down, climbed out. I said, I'm about to pass out. When I held my hand up, I fell down, and they picked me up, stuck me in the little pickup truck, and rushed me off to the hospital. And they gave me a shot, and he goes, well, we can either try to do a skin graft and grow it back on, your skin on the end of your fingertip, but that's going to take forever. And, you're going to have a scar here and a scar there. Because they wanted to sew it to my finger, to my palm of my hand, to get the flesh from the palm of my hand to grow onto the fingertip. But he goes, or else I could just pop it off right there at the knuckle and sew it up like a gunny sack. You could be back to work in about 3 or 4 weeks. I said, there you go, do that.
does that mean that he was just like, I don't want to have to do another one of those skin graft things?
Yeah.
No, it was like, I really need the money, and this was unfortunate, and why hurt myself twice whenever he's pop it off and sew it up,
Yeah. Well, because we had a driver, and because a driver who was playing football
Yeah.
and stepped in a hole, broke her ankle. I guess pretty bad.
She was playing
She
football.
was
Okay,
playing
she.
football.
I thought I heard she.
And went to the hospital, and for whatever reason was like, just cut it off.
Yeah, well, and when she first
Your
told
foot?
the story, she kind of skipped it. She's like, I was playing football and I broke my foot off. What do you mean?
Like, what does that mean?
Broke your foot off.
Like, the foot is gone. Like, man, what kind
Whoa.
of football is this?
Yeah.
But
I have to think about that twice.
So-
Losing, like it's like a hand, you know.
So there must have been more to the story, but
Yeah.
went to the hospital and was like, just cut it off. That seems crazy.
She had, and I believe her, this was years ago that she drove for us, but she had the state record for the
A female powerlifting. record.
female powerlifting record for a one-legged female, the highest squat in the state of Indiana or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was the state of Indiana.
Maybe-
One-legged.
Maybe that's what I was getting you confused with.
Oh.
that.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Poke. I got you.
I'm just teasing.
Nah, that's good.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I
For
would
now.
feel like I would want to try to save my appendages
Yeah.
if that was at all possible. Now, one
Right.
digit on your ring finger, I guess that's a little different than a
Right.
foot. But
Yeah, they had me pull my wedding band off because my it was swelling up. He goes, "Hey, I'll cut it off." He said, "B or snatch it off there." He said, "You better do it soon because I don't know if you ever ripped your fingertip off, but your finger starts
Not yet.
swelling up,
Huh,
you know."
I haven't.
So I had to grab it and pop that joker off, and it hurt. Luckily, they gave me a shot of Valium, so it was all right. I
That's
said,
what
"Yeah,
I
woo."
like these. I cannot do a metal ring anymore. I get ring claustrophobic, and I have these little squishy rings.
Oh, wow,
You know what I'm
rubber
talking
band
about?
What
like,
if that's
yeah.
This was like $3.
a real
Yeah.
like? It's got to be a thing.
Yeah, I've heard too many stories. Like, you remember when
Ring
Joe,
claustrophobic.
remember Joe in
Mhm.
our office? He had to go to the hospital. He was just working here in the office one day. He had to go to the hospital and get his ring cut off.
What, his hand swelled up?
It started losing circulation. His fingers turning purple. He went into the hospital and had to cut it off.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so I was like, I like these little squishy ones, these little $3.
I have seen that. I have got my ring caught on stuff, and I know
I do worry about
if you have
ripping
your
a
whole
finger
way,
off.
I know multiple people that have either playing basketball or jumping over a fence had that been
Yeah.
degloved. Is that what they call it when it
Rips out the
rips
flesh.
everything but the bone?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that would not be
Oof.
fun.
Nope. So just get the little silicone ones.
Right, rips it off and buy another one.
Yeah, just rip it. It'd be no big deal.
Hmm. But then you
Okay.
can't signal to all the people that you have some fancy gold ring. How do you?
You can get gold looking
You
ones.
can't flaunt your
only
wealth,
I only
man.
appreciate my relationship.
You only
one
like.
silicone.
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah. I guess this is
I'm
not
just kidding.
reflective of
Yeah.
the strength of my commitment.
I'm poor. I'm poor. Yeah.
So you've already given some advice to new drivers, but
Right.
So what would be some other things that you would tell somebody that hasn't done this before that's interested?
Let's see. Well, it's fun. That's for sure. I mean, like I said before, it's addictive. It kind of grows on you. And then actually when I go home, I'm like lost. I'm like, what do I do? I mean, I've got a million projects at home, but you're ready to go back to work. You're ready to get back in the truck. At least I am.
Mm-hmm.
So but some advice would be to, if you do want to do this, would be, first of all, just go slow, man. Don't try to hurry up and do nothing. Hooking up or going somewhere or coming back, just try to slow down because things happen quick, and with the hooking up part, you might overlook a big scratch down the side or something like that, and you get the dealership, and then you're going to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
If they find it and you overlooked it and you didn't took it all that way, they're going to blame you for it. So try to be slow and thorough. Check your connections. I don't know how many people we've had misconnect their trailer on the hitch and it come off and destroy it or destroy your truck or both. So just try to go slow. And road rage is bad. That's one of the worst things. And people will antagonize you, especially when you're loaded. They'll try to toy with you. And the best thing to do is just back off, because if you participate with it, you're just as guilty as they are. That's just my take on it.
Well, you had that, which this is like I've used this as an example of what to do when that guy kind of sideswiped your trailer in Kentucky last year.
Yep.
And you had the presence of mind because it's a hit and run situation. This guy took off and you snapped a picture of the guy and his plate. You see the guy was covering his face or whatever. Yeah. So
I just stopped in the middle of the interstate because he ran to the side of me, and I managed to get in front of him, and the traffic was so bad at that spot, he couldn't get back out in traffic to leave. So I jumped out of the truck, and it's just second nature. I grabbed my phone, walked up. I said, well, now we're going to have to exchange, insurance stuff and like that. And he just looked at me. And immediately I left and walked around behind his van and took a picture of the plate. And then he kept, and he finally got out and took off. I said, okay, buddy. I'm still calling the cops. And then I guess he got caught for hit and run.
Yeah.
But, and I still had to pay for the damage.
Because we couldn't go after that guy. Yeah.
Because I guess in Kentucky, it's $500 or less. They won't press charges or something. I guess you're responsible for that. And it was, what, $300 something worth?
Yeah.
So
something like that.
I had to end up eating it, but that's all part of it. That's all part of the job. I mean, you win some, you lose some. And I lost a trip. I lost the mileage, all the way, the fuel costs, all that. To get that far, turn around, I have to bring it back. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way the game is, whenever you're doing this. So you got to keep that in mind. If you have a blowout that tears the side of the trailer off, then it's a toss-up, whether it's your fault, if you run over something, or was the tire blew out, it's all cost. Somebody's got to pay for it, whether it's Gateway or whether it's you, the driver, or the factory, So, but that stuff happens. I did it for years, never had a blowout, and then the last year, I think it was, or earlier this year, I was headed out west. I was out in New Mexico, and just all of a sudden, pow, tire blew out. Lucky I saved the rim. It didn't tear the rim up, but then I had to pull off, change the tire, in the sun, in the heat, 110 degrees, but that's all part of the deal. That's like the downside of it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good that you say that, because it is easy to, you're selling this job. There's a lot of cool parts about it. It's fun,
Right.
addicting. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can see, but there is inherent downside, just like anywhere else.
Right.
If there was only upside, it was easy, it paid well, then everybody'd be doing it. But it's not everybody's thing. It's not
Right.
for everyone. There are some risks associated with it. When you're taking a valuable commodity and you sign on one end saying, I'm taking responsibility for it, until somebody else takes responsibility for it, during that time, that's your baby.
That's right. And there's a lot of truck maintenance involved too. If you own your truck, whether you're financing it or you own it outright, you still got a lot of maintenance. Tires, brakes, U-joints, the list goes on. I mean, I could go on. And that all comes out of you, the owner of the truck, So you got to take that in consideration also. You're thinking, wow, okay, I made all this money going out here. But then you got to think, okay, tires, brakes, basic maintenance, fuel. That's your main cost is fuel. That's what costs the most. And it fluctuates.
Do you have any good strategies for fuel savings?
Take your foot off the pedal. Try not to go so fast.
Yeah.
Make sure the wind's blowing at your back if possible. Don't head into a storm, because usually the wind gets real bad, and we've had a bunch of blowovers. I say we, us, me and Gateway. I've never been blown over, thank goodness, knock on wood. But it's because when the wind starts getting bad, pull over, find you a spot that's kind of sheltered, let it pass. That's always a good strategy. If you see the storm coming up on your phone, there's a little bit of purple in it, that means hail, and it could beat the crap out of your truck and trailer, and guess who's responsible? The driver. So there's a lot of things to think about when you do this. There is upside. Yeah, it's a beautiful country. You get to see a lot of stuff, but then you got to be always aware of the environment, what's going to happen, because that's the main thing is the weather. If it was bright, sunny all the time and no wind, heck yeah, but it's not always that way. Just like the winter, it gets icy, windy, wind and ice, bad situation.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you can't control when
Right.
you're out there, but there's a lot of stuff that you can control. So I think we get some drivers sometimes that hire on that just want to hop in a truck and go and not do any of the homework beforehand that can actually mitigate a lot of risk.
Right.
You can't control where there's going to be construction, but you can control when you're going through the construction.
That's right.
You can't control the weather, but you can control when you're going to be going through there. You can look at what there is to expect. You can't control where there's ice. You can control what trips you take and when you leave.
Right.
And what time of day. If you're leaving the yard at 3 o'clock in the morning in February, you're a lot more likely to hit ice than if you leave when the sun's up. So there's some stuff you just can't control.
Right.
and that's always going to be true. But you can plan your way around a good percentage of the risk. You just have to be a little bit proactive.
Right. That's
know
right.
where you're going to stop. Do you have places that because you've been a lot of places, do you have your go-to places that you stop?
Oh, yeah.
To stop for the night?
Oh, absolutely. Depending on where you're going. I mean, I've been back and forth across the country, so you get I can make it to this truck stop tonight. There's a rest area coming up here. I can stop there and take a break to do my, 5-hour, 30-minute break. So you do learn to do that, and then you learn where the cheap fuel stops are. There's a lot to learn. So that all goes with planning your trip out. You don't want to leave at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that's going to mess everything up. If you're used to leaving at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to do your 11-hour shift, then that's going to put you at where you want to be at a certain time. If you start later, then that pushes you getting to your spot later, which you might not have a spot to park because you guys have encountered that too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's nowhere to park where you want to go, and if you got to park with the big trucks parked, you better know as soon as the sun starts going down, them truck stops are going to fill up quick.
Yeah.
And the rest areas. So, and I don't like staying at Walmart. I don't do that no more.
Yeah, me neither.
You've been kicked out of too many?
Kicked out, about hit, just riffraff, street racing, drifting in the parking lot. I mean, I went out to California one time, and that's the only place to stay was in the Walmart parking lot. And they were out there street racing, drifting around my trailer. Yeah, you know what drifting is, right? All 4 tires smoking. Wow. Yeah, buddy. Scared me to death. I thought they're going to hit me. They're going to hit my trailer. I was scared.
Yeah.
Didn't get much sleep that night. Yeah. Matter of fact, that was in Pasadena, California.
Yeah. Have any cops knock on your window?
Oh, yeah. I was in Oklahoma, me and the wife, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Tap, tap, tap on the window. I pulled the blind down. There's a cop standing there. I said, uh-oh, this ain't good. I rolled the window down. He says, I hate to tell you this, but the owner of the Walmart is expressing their rights to no overnight parking in the parking lot. And I said, okay, well, I'm out of hours. And he goes, well, I tell you what. He goes, the state fairground is half a block down the road. You leave the Walmart parking lot, you turn right, go down to the stoplight, turn right. That's our state fairgrounds. He goes, you can sleep there as long as you want. I said, thank you, sir. I got up. We left, went down there and slept, and got up, and everything was good. But that's one of the reasons why I don't stay at Walmart, because what the deal was had an 18-wheeler drop his trailer in the parking lot at Walmart. It made the manager of the store angry. So she called the cops and run everybody off.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the
I said owner, but it was the manager.
Anyway, Sam Walton or
no, and it wasn't the Walton family.
One of our drivers is friends with the Walton family. He's from Walmart, Arkansas, or whatever the name of the town
Bentonville
is.
or something like that.
I thought it was Bentonville.
Yeah, I think so. Store number 1 is like his local Walmart store.
Oh.
And his family knows there.
Did he make it up?
No, I think it's.
Did he make it up?
Maybe Roy.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll
have to ask. Yeah.
I'll look into it, and we'll try to get him on here.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us all about
Tell us about Walmart.
We're Walmart friends.
We want free Walmart stuff.
Yeah.
Let us park there.
We want the down low, the Walmart story. Give it up.
I've had several of our. Several. One of our. Okay, so let me start over. Our One Gateway podcast fan has told me that you need to tell the story of when you were at the church parking lot and got kicked out of the church parking lot.
You got kicked out of a church parking lot?
Yes, they said you people like you aren't allowed to come to church. There's no hope for you.
You were passed.
Hell only for this one.
Wow.
No, I just in New Mexico. You want me to tell this story real quick, and then I couldn't find a place to park. I went place after place after place. I ended up just parking in one of our church parking lots, and about 4 a.m. I saw some cops walking up to me, so I get out of the truck and they put your hands up. I do that whole thing, and they had me put my hands behind my back, and they give me the whole pat down.
Taser.
Spent a little too. I didn't get tased, unfortunately. That would have made it even cooler. What was the interesting part of the experience was I was kind of getting woke up, so I was a little bit.
You was still high.
I was
were you still
just
high?
coming off
just
of
then.
but I'm surprised that I wasn't nervous at all. I was just like, okay, And all right, yep, standard procedure. Do your thing. It's not,
All right,
you know.
face down.
They're
And
probably like, this guy's way too comfortable with
That's
this.
right.
Yeah, well, it's like it was clear that I wasn't on drugs and all that kind of thing. So after they asked me a bunch of questions, they let me go or whatever, and I'm joking with them. Their guys are younger than me probably, and I tell them what I'm doing and all this stuff, and they're. So I sat and talked to them for a while, and then they let me go and everything. They're just like, you'd be surprised how often we find abandoned vehicles like this, and there's somebody dead inside.
Oh,
stuff
wow.
Like that. And it's like,
Well, that's not cool.
This was in Albuquerque, which on that trip I'd been binging Breaking Bad.
Albuquerque. That's a bad place,
that's
man.
where Albuquerque is where
Yeah,
Walter White's at, right? You ever seen Breaking Bad?
I don't think so.
It's pretty intense, but I mean, he cooks. The premise of the show is basically this old high school chemistry teacher cooks meth.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to die of cancer. He
Yeah.
wants to leave his family something.
Some
So
money.
So he cooks meth.
So he cooks this elite meth.
it is very compelling show.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
is-
and so you get into the whole criminal underworld. And
Wow.
if you get, do you watch a lot of TV when you're like camping for the night?
No, not really.
Play some Xbox. You hook up your
Yeah, no. I don't have Xbox
a lot of
in the
reading.
windshield.
You do a lot of like.
I do a lot of sleeping
You
when I
brought
stop for the night.
well, that's probably what you should be doing. But you brought Jordan some kind of cool books, right?
Yeah.
You the first time I found this out. I don't know why, but you surprised me. You're a fan of fantasy and sci-fi, or at least you know a lot of the books that I had come
Right,
across
right.
in
Oh,
those
yeah.
genres. Yeah.
Yep. I'm into sci-fi and what is that? Science fiction, sci-fi, same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. Bilbo Baggins, and I used to watch Space 1999 when I was a kid. I like Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers and all that stuff. And then my grandparents like, "Why do you watch that crap?" I'm like, well, because it's kind of cool. Yeah, but it's fake. I'm like, well, maybe now. Someday it might not be.
And
Well, and all the TV's fake.
Right, all
yeah,
of it.
yeah, all of it.
Even the
stuff
news.
that says
Oh,
it's
wait,
not
Even
fake.
yeah, it's not fake.
Reality TV is the most fake of all the TVs.
Well,
I have a hard time
well,
watching.
no, it
reality
is
TV.
fake, but like more fake than.
All right, fine. I will believe in aliens
Zombie.
before I believe
right,
in some
aliens.
of these housewives. They ain't real.
That's just drama, man. That's
Well,
solid drama.
It's popular. I can't
Like,
handle
okay,
it. I
garbage,
tried.
garbage. Oh wait, here goes something. Me and the wife, we were watching what was that, Hitler's secret bunkers or
Oh,
some
I
kind
love
of
stuff
Nazi
like that.
stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just something
Hitler
to
and
watch.
the
I mean,
aliens.
he was terrible, but I mean, some of that stuff's like, wow,
It's quite
man.
fascinating. The stuff,
Yeah,
the
built
history.
all this stuff on these islands and those fortresses and just some of the
giant
stuff.
train
Yeah,
guns.
some of them big old guns, and I mean, just some of the stuff's like unbelievable. Back in the 30s and 40s,
It's the stuff they were
crazy,
doing.
man.
Speaking of meth,
Oh, meth. I said we're back to meth.
Hitler was big time into meth.
Oh yeah, they
Meth?
say he was a meth head. Oh
Have you
yeah.
heard that?
I knew he was- I
and
didn't know it
like
was meth.
all of the
Specifically.
predecessors to meth as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
But like I was listening to this thing about all the different experimental vitamins and drugs and stuff
Yeah,
that he
they
was
were
on, and you
amping
see
the
some of the
soldiers
footage.
up.
Like I think there's one where he's at maybe at the Olympics or something, and he's just rocking back and forth.
Oh, I have
you know?
seen that one.
Yeah,
Wow,
I mean,
tweaking.
it kind of makes sense. Like this nut case, like how is he able to just go for days?
He was
hard-
his personal
'cause
doctor.
Because
Meth.
a lot of the Nazis would take a
Would
lot
take
of drugs.
meth, yeah.
Yeah, they put it in their food.
It's pretty wild stuff.
So when you get tired, take one of these. You run a marathon.
Yeah, until
Blow
you
your
start.
heart
Then you
out.
start
Yeah.
picking your
Yeah.
skin away,
Tweaking,
and
yeah.
you're imagining
Wow.
Yeah,
the
some of that
banshees coming to
stuff-
get you. And
This year, I read a couple like POW accounts, compelling firsthand stories of
that's
soldiers.
tough
And
to hear.
some of it is very, I don't know what the word is, very grisly and grim.
Yeah,
Very like a compliment to the human spirit in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But man, what one man can do to another is
and I have a
pretty
hard
wild.
time taking a cold shower. It's like, man, I think about that when it's like, I am such a pansy compared. And I think about those guys in Normandy would look at me and think, this is the kind of sissy man that I
Sissy
sacrificed my
man.
life for. He's like, I can't even,
I tell you what, go to Florida and go to one of the rivers. Jump in that water, buddy. It's from the springs.
Uh-huh.
It's cold. I mean, you'll be blue,
Mhm.
shivering, but it feels so good when you're all sweaty. You jumping out and
We had some of those. We were in Utah. It'd be snow runoff rivers.
Oh, yeah,
You jump
yeah.
in there. It's like 33 degrees.
I went to Colorado. Seen some of that.
One time I did that. You put your was in Boy Scouts, you have to jump in and you put your head under, and then you come back up and keep only your head above water, and you have to recite the Scout Oath or the Scout motto.
Oh, man.
I couldn't even remember my name. I was so cold.
I'm blue.
Just get me out of here. Why are we getting tortured?
I'm shivering to death.
Boy Scouts ain't what it used to be. You should be kicking those kids in the ice water.
Yeah.
There was, we've got a lot of stories of.
There's actually something to this.
Sink
A
or
lot of
swim.
fun, but yeah, there would be a lot of scout camps where boys would come back with the leader's boot prints on their face. not like we were getting physically abused, but a little bit.
Okay, now we got to say the Boy Scout disclaimer now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I had a really good experience with the Boy Scouts, but it's not what it used to be.
yeah,
Nah.
agreed. Yeah,
I got to be a Cub Scout.
Yeah, right on.
That was it.
that's a good place to start.
It was fun. I made the little car
Oh, yeah.
out of the
yeah.
block of
Pinewood
wood.
Derby.
Pinewood Derby.
Yeah, the Pinewood Derby. I carved the car out, you
You
know.
put it down the track.
Cut my hand a couple times, you
Mhm.
know. That's all part of growing up, though. you
Yeah.
know.
Yep, I
Alright.
agree.
But we were tough back then, you know.
None of these
Arm
sissy
broke
boys.
off.
Sissy
Get a
boys,
Band-Aid.
yeah.
Right. Put some Mercurochrome on it, you know. Here,
Yeah.
Robitussin, you know.
Yeah.
Dump some Robitussin on it. You're good. Go out and play. But my arm's hanging by the, the skin. That's all right. Get a popsicle stick, some duct tape. Go out and play, you know.
Yeah,
horrible.
I-
When we talk about RVs, now we done got way off on
Yeah,
this. Oh my
sorry
goodness.
about
that's the point of this, honestly. But yeah, it's,
Well, let's bring it home. You have any other wise things you need to say, Charles, to the world?
Nah, I just want you guys to know how much I've enjoyed working with you guys over the years, and I hope to do a bunch of more because, like I said, it's addictive, man. And I'm looking to buy my third truck to wear out. So the truck I got's almost got 1 million miles on it now.
Mm.
So, and that's my second truck. So,
So
Yeah,
I've told
you've done a
people
really good
about these
job.
high mileage pickups, and some people are on the edge of belief. They don't believe that.
believe it.
Yeah.
How do you get a pickup to last 1 million miles?
Oil changes, maintenance. Mainly the oil changes.
New motor?
Depends on how many miles. If you buy a new truck, you know, now I'm going to say this from experience, and you guys know this. Just because it's brand new don't mean it's
Yeah.
good. The older trucks, for some reason, seem to last longer. They have fewer repairs. Yeah, you'll get some. You might have to rebuild the transmission. You might have to put another motor in it, but not like the new trucks. I mean, I know guys with new trucks that seems like their truck's in the shop more than they're out making money with it.
Mhm.
They're making payments on it.
Yep.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, but mainly it's maintenance. You know, keep your air filter clean because you get better mileage. You know, change your fluids. You know, I mean, mainly the oil. That's the main one. You know, if you go out to California in the heat and go across the desert, and then because your truck's going to run hot when you're pulling something. I don't care, new, old, whatever kind of truck you got. You get out in that 110 degree going across the desert, your truck's going to run hot. Not saying boiling over, but hotter than you would think, you know, normally it would. So you got to slow your roll. You know, that's another secret to longevity too, is back off your truck a little bit. When you see the temperature start getting up, slow down, downshift, you know. Give it a break because it's working hard for you in that heat, you know. And the heat breaks down your oil. So, oil change.
Yeah.
Not saying every time you go out west do oil change, but I do mine every 10,000 miles, whether it needs it or not. And usually it does.
Yeah.
Some people, that's too many miles. Well, that's what Cummins recommends, you know, 8 to 10,000 miles depending on use. And I put the good oil in it. So, yeah, that's the main thing. Check your tire pressure. Slow down in the summer, you'll blow a tire because
Mhm.
that heat, them hot roads, they'll blow a tire in a minute. I don't care if it's brand new. It'll blow it. You want to run 75 pulling a trailer? You shouldn't. Especially through the desert.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no. Not only you get a speeding ticket, which now some speed limits out west are 75 miles an hour. Some there's 80 miles an hour. But that don't mean pull a trailer that fast because those little tires on the trailer aren't made for that.
They are not the most highest
No.
quality.
No,
Yeah,
no.
many of them.
And some of them have 14-inch tires on them. The bigger the tire, the less. But just because it says Goodyear on the side, or what's some of these other ones, some kind of no-name tires that they're putting on.
Yokohama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Well, Castle Rock. There's a Castle Rock tire. We call them Castle Pop because you better slow down the heat because it's liable to pop.
Yeah.
It'll come apart, boom. So stuff like that. Mainly maintenance for the longevity of your vehicle and yourself. You start getting tired, pull over, man. Take a nap.
Yep.
You know?
We've talked about
It's
it
not
several
worth
times
it.
that the 11-hour rule sometimes encourages drivers to drive tired.
Right.
The idea is to stop drivers from driving tired, but if you only have 11 hours and you feel like you have to max out your 11 hours, you're not going to stop and take a break when you really need one.
Right.
So I agree. You need to,
Yeah.
if you feel tired, just stop. Just take a break.
Over the years, I guess you get used to it. You condition yourself because you got some people, how can you drive so far? How can you do 700 miles in a day? Well, you get used to it. You do 11 hours, you're going 70, that's, 770 miles, which you're not going to do that legally unless you're running 75 mile an hour. Because, the ratio don't do right. And DOT will tell you that, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the officers tell me that because I've been inspected a few times. You know this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys see,
Mm-hmm.
keep the records of everything. So, but yeah.
Well, appreciate it, Charles, and thanks for doing
No
this.
problem.
Thanks, and likewise, we really have enjoyed 12, 13 years of working with you.
Right.
It's all been good so far. So hopefully the next dozen is
Oh,
just
goodness.
as good.
Uh-oh. Give me that look.
Yeah,
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired. As of now, you
Right
are fired,
after
buddy.
recording a
That's
podcast.
right.
I feel like that's
Hey,
not
we
the-
really appreciate you. Good luck at.
And by the
your-
way,
yeah.
get
No.
out of here.
Yeah, you're great to work with.
Right.
Dealerships, you represent us well. We really enjoy working with you.
Mhm.
And
That
thanks
makes
for
a
doing
big-
this.
It makes a big difference, man.
Yeah.
You keep them happy, they keep wanting us to come back.
Yeah.
I fully believe in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just same as Justin. You've seen a lot of changes at Gateway and stuck with us. We
Oh,
really
yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
You're a great
thick and
driver.
thin, man. I
Yep.
remember when it was famine, we had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'd be over at the Syracuse lot, and they'd pull one trailer in and drop it in front of all the drivers and say, "Whoever's this is, get it."
You would fight for it.
We would
whoever,
fight for it,
it's like
right.
gladiator style.
Rah!
This conversation's come up more than it probably should have. Historically, which one of our drivers would win that
Yeah.
bout?
Mm.
Well,
think it's an
and
easy answer
now.
now.
It's an easy answer. Yeah.
Yeah, probably the big dude. What's his name? That I met at the driver meeting here this last time. Football player guy.
He would be a contender. Him in his prime would be a contender, but I still think Gary.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep.
A good personal friend of ours too, a big Polynesian guy.
Super cool dude.
Just
Oh, okay.
really cool, but big.
Yeah.
Hulkish.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness,
big guy.
I'm scared already.
Well, he's just one of the.
It would
nicest
either be
guys.
that or Alyssa.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a good point. She could
Stay
probably,
on her good side.
you could tear out your jugular before you turned around. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yuck.
She has talked about being able to kill somebody with a sack of potatoes too many times.
Too
Oh, my
many
goodness.
times. Yeah,
She
suspicious.
gave me that
of
look.
She has offered to go down and find the thieves that have stolen from us, and I have had to
Okay,
hold
calm down.
back.
Yeah. Speaking of
not allowed
that,
to do that.
speaking of that, whenever that guy hit me down there in Louisville,
Yeah.
she was like, it was that Clouseau, Inspector Clouseau, man.
Oh,
She
yeah.
went, she got the guy's tag number. He lives at this apartment complex and blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah. We're going to roll up on him. And I'm like, calm down, now, calm down. She's
offered
ready to roll.
drive down to
Yeah,
Florida to find these.
that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see her in an alternate world pulling out of her coming out of her car with the Tommy gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
she would have been
chopper.
born
Grab
during
the
days of
chopper.
Al Capone. She could have been his
Yeah.
hitman or whatever.
I tell you what.
Unless if you ever listen to this, we mean the highest praise. By this.
Yeah. She's really turned out to be an asset, though. I tell
Yeah.
you what.
Yeah.
She's good as gold, man. I mean, she work with you. Try. You guys too, man. I mean, your dad, I like working at Gateway. There's all kinds of companies out there to go work for, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, come on. For a nickel a mile or a penny a mile, I mean, some of these other outfits, their rules are just crazy, man. I've talked to drivers through the years, and it's just like, wow, you know. okay, so you make a little bit more than us, but my gosh, the rules are just crazy. I mean, they're on your back the whole time calling you. Where you at? How far are you going to go today? Where are you going to stop at? This and that and other. You got to do this. You got to do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's like, wow. You know? So, but it's all about how you carry yourself, though, too. You know, you try to be compliant, do the right thing, try to be clean shaven most of the time. I mean, I might get a little scruffy, but take a bath before you go to the dealership if you've been not bathing in 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's just common sense, at least in my book. You guys feel the same way, I'm sure. So, but anyway, that's enough of that. Appreciate working with you guys, man.
Well, thanks again. You're awesome. And we look forward to next season. We'll have you on again.
Hey, I'll be glad to do it again.
Okay.
I have to think up some different stories because you guys kind of put me on the spot, and I was like, okay, well
we
I know I forgot about stuff.
So be thinking about some stories.
I'll make
I think
some
we want
up.
to start trying to collect more.
Fabricate.
Really
Some more
good
stories.
stories.
Really,
That-
whoa.
it's like, wait, wasn't that in a movie? I
You
think
don't
you're
have
thinking of the
Lincoln.
Avengers.
When I pulled up,
Yeah.
And then it blew up, and then
Did I grab the president?
in the headlock, right? I was punching him. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right.
thank
Thanks,
you,
Charles.
Yeah, man, no problem.